diving experience. This isn't a scuba certification course, but a chance to explore a whole new world under the supervision of a trained professional.
So after being on the island for about a week, I believe, I realized I wasn't able to fast for more than 1.5 days because it was just too hot, and the environment and the conditions of like living with a bunch of people in like a little space just wasn't happening. And I was kind of getting bored because the island, you know what, there's not that much to do. So I was like, I want to scuba dive. And yeah, that's where it all started. I was like, why not get the certification of scuba diving in tropical environments? I really never ever even thought about doing that, but I've gone skydiving before solo for my first time, and it was amazing. So I thought, okay, well, I've jumped from a plane, now it's time to get deep underwater. So here we are. That was my first trip. Really, it all started with snorkeling, and then the guys told me, well, you can just use what you're spending on snorkeling and add that to basically pay for a scuba diving course. And there was like a huge learning component where you have to study. So I was probably studying for almost a week every day, almost full time. So that's from Shark Alley, where they basically throw down little fish, so all the sharks gather, and it's like this swarm of like feeding frenzy that's super scary. You can snorkel and be in the water and just watch the whole thing, but they tell you to kind of stay further away, just to be careful so none of them actually bite you by accident. They call them bottom feeders, so the sharks aren't supposed to be dangerous for humans, but nevertheless, seeing something so majestic, it's pretty scary. And yeah, speaking of food, you guys are seeing some of my meals. Oh my gosh, that fish was so amazing. I love the presentation. Everything is super fresh there. So these shots are for when I went to some of the wealthier, or like the the wealthier neighborhood of Belize, where everybody is in their little kind of I don't even know what to call them, little resorts, I guess, where everything is clean and nice, and there is lots of tropical stuff. And yeah, basically the wealthy part of Belize. I was there just to get some scuba diving gear because my flip-flops, for some reason, my foot started cramping a lot during my second or third time of deep diving, and it was just like cramping and it wouldn't stop cramping. I don't know what it was, so I thought maybe I could solve it with flip-flops, but no, I realized that I couldn't. I really have no idea why that was happening. I still don't know, but nevertheless, it allowed me to go to the upper Belize island, I guess the upper part of the San Pedro island, and I realized, wow, what a difference. I was living in the ghetto of San Pedro, where basically, I mean, you guys can see it, it's like, it's still nice, but it's a little bit more dirty, there's more trash around. And you can see that the scuba diving / snorkeling place, it was right beside my hostel, and it had the pirate flag on top of it. So yeah, it's definitely where like the ghetto is, where the pirates are. It's kind of nicer because there's like a beach view and everything, right? So yeah, back at the hostel, there was some serious drama with the kitchen situation. So the kitchen that you guys saw before, where I was making my coffee every day, apparently that was not the hostel's kitchen, not the hostel that I was staying in, and the back of the hostel was attached to another hostel, so they were sharing this kitchen. Because I think maybe that's what I was meant to do all along. However, I'm not 100% sure. Finishing my scuba diving course, and then I'll move on further and further. And love you. Yeah, that was a little pep talk that I like to give myself. So yeah, this is the new kitchen. They built it literally, they got everything together in like a day, but they had to lock the doors of the other kitchen right away. And some people, particularly one older guy who I think was staying there long term, basically paying night to night, and it was super cheap to even stay there night to night. So yeah, he was so angry because yeah, I could see like he was used to having his breakfast in the morning and there was no kitchen. But I was happy that he did say something, because then I could make my decaf coffee. And yeah, but it, like, they handled it really well, and they built like a really beautiful kitchen right in front of the beachfront. They put out hammocks and everything. So yeah, I was like, I thought this hostel was really cool for what it is. So yeah, I definitely spent a lot of time just grabbing my iPad there, as you can see, and going to either the pool while it was still cool and not too humid and not too bright, or I was literally in my bed just studying. And it was funny, I think the guys expected me to cheat on the course and just submit it right away, because they were pressuring me. They're like, oh, you can just do it in one day. But honestly, people do it, I think, probably in a month or two. I managed to squeeze it all in a week, but really for your own education and for your own knowledge, especially if you do it often, like, you really want to know what you're doing, because even if you have the instructor there to help you, you still want to have that confidence that, hey, like, I know what I need to do in an emergency situation, because you are going pretty deep underwater. So it really is about your own well-being, and at the end of the day, you are responsible for your own life. You can't always depend on people to save you and help you. Hi guys, so I wanted to share with you, oh god, I'm speaking like I don't know what. Anyway, I wanted to share a little story with you about oat milk lattes, because I used to drink whole milk, and I was very dedicated to drinking whole milk cappuccino or latte or macchiato. And every time, or almost every time, even like I would go to the same place, they would ask me, oh, I'd be like, can I have a cappuccino with whole milk? They're like, sorry, what? Cappuccino with oat milk? I'm like, no, whole. I'm like, not whole. I mean, not whole. And they're like, oh, okay. So eventually they would get it. But anyway, so I've always resisted this trend of consuming oat milk, because I always thought, okay, like, why? It's like sort of like a wheat product, you know. I just didn't think it was like a very healthy alternative. But anyway, here I am trying it, and it's very delicious. Oh, here we are. This is the last couple of days when it started randomly pouring rain every once in a while, and it was pretty cool to be in those kind of situations here and there, but I'm really glad it didn't happen a lot. And I hope you guys got the gist of the story. Basically, the universe was telling me for a while to drink oat milk coffee, which now I love, but I resisted it because I always drank whole milk. But I would go to this trendy cafe in Toronto, and they would always, I would say, I want whole milk, blah blah cappuccino with whole milk, and they'll be like, oat milk? I'm like, whole milk. They're like, oat milk? I really wish I took it as a sign and just started drinking oat milk, because actually it's delicious. Oh, this is my place that I rented for a little bit. This is my own room with its own balcony. It's in the same hostel, so I get the same view. Well, I mean, I get a view because really there wasn't really much of a view because you were on a lower floor and there's not a huge window or anything. But here you could hammock and watch, like, you know, look at the water and everything. So it was really cool. And like, I mean, the coolest thing obviously was the fact that I was alone, even though it was a two bunker. I guess people tend to share it, but yeah, there wasn't anything else available for that time period, and honestly, I was just so happy to just sleep and not use earplugs. Oh, this is my cat. My housemate sent me this video because I was missing her at this point. I had been away. I thought I would be away for a week, but it ended up being almost a month. So yeah, here she is purring her booty off. And this is the sunrise. This is the last couple of days. Hi, sunshine. Yeah, I was so happy waking up. Oh my gosh, guys. You know, guys, I have to say, when I'm traveling, I love experiencing it all. I love experiencing what like the regular quote-unquote people experience. I love the luxury life. I want to try it all. But after a couple of weeks in the hostel, my ears were hurting so bad from the combination of scuba diving and earplugs. It's pretty nice, though. Yeah, it's really high to the ceiling, so I have to say I like the bottom one just as much. Tonight will be the last night of sleeping in a dorm. I think I'm gonna stop doing it unless it's like a specialty type thing where I wanna feel it out for the night. Maybe 2 nights, but no more long-term dorms. So for my last day in Belize, I decided to rent a cart for the day so I can explore the island. Honestly, I thought there would be so much to explore, but it turns out, you know, when they say a developing country or a developing island, they really mean it. There's literally outside, you guys will see, there's outside of San Pedro where they have on the map just like greens and things like that, greenery. There's literally nothing. It's just fields, and there isn't even greenery. It's just literally nothing. I mean, I assumed it was sort of like an old city where maybe there's like poor people living, or like some villages or huts or things like that. But no, there's literally nothing. There's just nothing. It's just there's these resorts. There's like the wealthier resorts and like the poor people resorts. And as you go north on the island, they're more wealthy. And some of them they weren't being used just yet because the season, I was there in November and that's when the season starts. So it's kind of like November is considered on-off months. That's why it's cheaper as well. So if you're on a budget, that's a good time to go because you can get things for still a cheaper price. Because then once the weather gets good, when there's no more rainy days, then prices go up even more. So here I am at this random hotel. I was gonna go there for lunch, but it turned out they weren't even open because, again, I didn't realize how many of these resorts, they were still completely closed. They weren't being taking guests, or they just like didn't have that many guests because the season was just beginning. I really had no clue. I suspected, had the feeling. They're closed. So I'm gonna go to Secret Beach and I'll find some food over there. I'm sure they'll have food. And yeah, it'll be fine. And it's fine. Yeah, I guess a lot of these restaurants are like private resort type situation. I'm good. Just gonna go. So Secret Beach is the biggest official beach of San Pedro. It's a pretty good beach, though it wasn't the best day to go, and you could kind of see because the season wasn't in full swing. People were kind of like desperate to get you over, to like kind of like have a drink, to get you to spend some money. And yeah, so that was like a little bit annoying. But other than that, you also have to drive there, right? So it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. And but I mean, it's cool. It's pretty cool because you get to experience this like safari adventure. I mean, it's not a safari, but literally you guys see there's nothing. There's like some bushes and stuff. And yeah, like, yeah, this is it. This is it. Yeah, here we are. Here's the beach. They were really excited to see anybody come. But it was nice. It's a nice beach. I think once the season fully starts, it would have been good. But yeah, it was some on and off rain, so they kept kind of having to bring in and bring out the little cushions. They didn't charge for any seats or anything, so I just ate there and I swam. It was fun. There's like some I don't know what you call them, these like blow up doll type things, blow up castle. I ended up jumping around the castle for a while, and then I went back home. It takes a while also to drive back, and you're really like, it's really bumpy. You're really like jumping up and down, so it's actually a little bit stressful to go there and to go back. I mean, yeah, this was one of the times where I'm like, oh, where's my boyfriend to drive me? Ugh. I'm so independent. I hate it. The last night, I really just loved going to bed early. Really, when the sun went down, I was in bed either studying or watching movies or something. So yeah, it was cool to see this torrential rain in the middle of the night. I went to record it because I was just like, I don't know, it's like the vibe of the tropics. I really, really love it. I love those kind of rains, especially when you're inside and you're safe and you can just record it and watch it and feel the vibes without actually getting wet. Anyways, guys, this is it for the Belize series. My next vlogs will be of my Toronto life here in Toronto. So see you, bye!